Good evening, Honors Algebra. Hopefully you got to watch this video before any ghouls or goblins came and got you. Alright, folks, this is our lesson for October 31st. Happy Halloween to you all. Before we begin, I want to give you a couple practice problems from what we've been doing in class. So, they shall appear magically, and then you can try to solve them out. I will briefly do one and explain it. Let me pause the video. Let's say we are given the 2 points, 610 and -5, 7. I want to know the slope of the line that runs through those points. All I have to know is that I subtract my y's. They rise to the top of my fraction, then I subtract my x's. If I do that, I can figure out my slope. The slope of the line that runs through them. I saw Mr. Sperber in class on Monday do this. I thought it was an excellent idea. Don't have to do it, but if you're a kid that gets this wrong, then that is a great way to approach the problem. All right, I am going to subtract my y's. Remember, it doesn't matter which one we start with. Since I wrote y sub 2 minus y sub 1, I will write my y sub 2 number first. I will subtract my y sub 1 number from it. I will write my x sub 2 number, oops, it's just a -5, and then I will subtract my x sub 1 number. I'll do some subtraction and I will get -3. Downstairs I will get -11. My best answer will be 3/11. Remember that the y's rise to the top. You subtract the y's, and they are your numerator. The y's rise to the top. Did I tell you that the y's rise to the top? Always, for slope. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 practice problems. I will show the answers. Well, you can pause, but I will show you the answers, and then you can proceed with the lesson. There are the 3 practice problems. Go ahead and work them out on your own and pause the video. Because I will have the answers pop up. Good luck. Okay, hopefully you've done your work by now. I'm going to give another second or two. If you haven't done your work and got the answers, go ahead and pause again. Get them done because the screen is going to disappear. Oh, there it is. There are the answers, and I'll even highlight them for you. Oh, I can't find my highlighter. There it is. Either one of these answers for practice problem number 1 is good. Either one of these answers is good for practice problem 2, and practice problem 3, you need one of these 2 answers. You do not have to put both. Okay? All right, let's move on to the next part of the lesson. For this, I'm going to need some graph paper. Today, we're going to take our knowledge a little bit further. We've learned how to count slope on a graph. We've learned how to calculate slope when given 2 points. Today, we are going to draw lines when we know a point and the slope of the line. So we're going to plot a point, and then we're going to use the rise and run of the slope to figure out where this line goes. I don't know if you realize this, it's a pretty subtle point, but we must have 2 points to make a line. If we only have 1 point, say this point right here, I don't know what line goes through that point. In fact, there are an infinite number of points that can go through that line. Excuse me, infinite number of lines that can go through that point. I'll draw just 1 or 2 of them for you. Could be this line. Could be that line. Could be that line. Could be that one. Could be lots of them. In fact, if I don't confine myself to 2-dimensional space, it could be lines coming out of the paper or screen that you're looking at going through that point. I honestly don't know. But the second I add a second point, oops, like this, now there is only one line that could possibly go through those 2 points. There's only one. There can be only one. All right. So that being said, I'm going to need a minimum of 2 points to draw my line. The method we're doing is so simple and so easy to do, we're going to use more than 2 points. But that'll just help us draw a better line. 2 is the minimum number that's required. All right, first of all, turn off my infinite cloner, move that point out of the way. Let's say we're given the point 4, -3. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to plot that point. 4, -3. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There we go. There's our point. Now the slope is 2/3. Well, I know my rise number is 2. So I'm going to rise 2. I'm from that point, not from the origin, from that point. So I put my little pen on the point and I count 1, 2. My run number is 3. So from there, I'm going to count 3. 1, 2, 3. That is the location of my next point. To help me draw a better line, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to count up to, from this new point now, 1, 2, and then write 3. 1, 2, 3. Just review, I'm counting up because my 2 is positive. I'm counting right because my 3 is positive. Now I have 3 points, and I can draw a pretty nice line. Suppose I wanted a 4th point just for the sake of it, just because I'm being very anal retentive and I want to make the most exact line that I can. But I'm out of graph. Well, I'm not going to tape on any extra graph or draw more. But watch this. Would you agree with me that +2 over +3 is the same as -2 over -3? Sure it is. If that's the case, I can go back to my original point and I can count down to 1, 2, and then left 3. 1, 2, 3. And look at this. Do you agree that those 4 points are on the same line? Yeah, and I can continue to do that. From the red point, down 1, 2, and left 1, 2, 3. I'll make my points kind of exaggeratingly big so that you can know where to draw the line. Now that I have that, I can draw my line. And there it is. It goes through all 4 points that I plotted. So what did I do? Well, I plotted my first point, the given point, and then from that point, I counted my rise and run. That's all I did. It's that simple. Let's look at another example here. This time, I am given the point -5, -2. The first thing I do is I will plot my point. -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2, 1, 2, and there's my point right there. That's kind of a big point. Let's see if I can't make that point smaller. No, it's not going to let me. Okay, so much for being creative. I shall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. There we go. There's the point, -5, -2. Now my slope is -4, 3. So I'm going to do it this way, infinitely clonio. All right, I shall go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 3. 1, 2, 3. And there's a new point. If I want a third point, I can go from that second point down 1, 2, 3, 4, right 1, 2, 3. And just to make it nice and pretty, I'm out of graph at the bottom. I'll change the signs of my slope. Now be careful, I have to change both signs, that is, and turn it into +4, -3. So from my original point, I will count up 1, 2, oops, it's not counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, and left 1, 2, 3. And look at those 4 points. They look like they're collinear, which is a geometry way of saying they're all on the same line. I can go ahead and draw that line now. And there we go. I have my line drawn. Easy, easy stuff. So we're given a point, and then we are given a slope, and we draw our lines. Okay, I'm going to end this lesson here, but on the next page, I am going to give you some examples, some problems, and it's your job to go ahead and grab some graph paper. If you don't have any, remember it was on the supply list, you need to get some, and you can try 3 or 4 of them at home. Please feel free to watch the video more than once. And like I said, they are running shorter now, like I had promised you. So it won't take up too much of your time. Okay, the examples will pop up here real soon. You can pause the video, try the examples, and then compare the answers to your work. All right. Good luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Hopefully you didn't gain 10 pounds from all the candy you got from trick-or-treating. By the way, Mr. Lawrence can be bribed. He likes Butterfingers and Reese's Cups. Just kidding. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.